Seemingly innocent settings can often be a gateway into nightmares. Nightmares that can stunt growth and destroy lives. Those of us who have naively passed through these gateways are often debilitated, but are more willing to seek a normal life than some people are able to comprehend. The seeming loss of all promise to survive and succeed is contradicted each time we are given a chance to make a positive step forward. As we continually prove ourselves incapable, an offer to help us turn our lives around is surprisingly and exuberantly accepted. Sometimes, through no fault of our own, our plight is not fully apprehended. People lose sight of the goal to help us, maybe because we appear to act normal. Perhaps they just forget the difficulty with which our lives proceed. My story hopes to describe how a person is inadvertently destroyed, and how the help is often short of actually being any help at all. The first slide we go to here is a drawing of my mother responding to what she was able to deduce after years of watching me develop in a debilitative state. She is letting me know that the doctor may have harmed me. Two years later, my father deteriorated and died from cancer. I see Mom watching her husband dying and having to tell her child that his life also may be altered. The second animation is of the surgeon performing the bris, a Jewish word for circumcision, and that even though Dad was Jewish, as an Episcopalian, the procedure took place in a regular hospital. Whether it was mistake or ignorance, the doctor may have removed too much skin from my penis. This is my own investigative reflection as to an unending nightmare that was to be the rest of my life. The third frame is of a doctor and his nurse, one Nurse Nancy, perhaps after a successful surgery. The kind of scene one would expect to find in a prestigious hospital between two staff employees celebrating their successes. This frame shows the nurse, Nurse Nancy, about to trip over a portable liquid injection stand. Perhaps an accident. But to hide a mistake done in surgery, That borders on the criminal. My mom goes on to explain in frame 5, which shows how my father, realizing that things were not right, according to my mom, Dad rushes to the pharmacy for a case of Cara syrup and a case of Pablum, and begins forcing it down my throat in an effort to stop the emaciation taking place as a result of the deprivation diet prescribed by the doctor. A procedure no longer legal and banished in the American Medical Association and in the United States. Frame 6 shows a classroom of students who could be aged 6 or 10 or 15 or 20. The reality was always the same for me. I was never expected to excel, and for that reason was always left out in classroom conversations. When I thought I did know what to say, I was often humiliated in front of the class and told to sit down. In frame 7, I am told that I am about to receive a D in English 1A. If I decide to stay in the class, and that my best means of keeping my GPA was to leave while I could still drop without consequence. Some teachers, like Miss Applecorn, fictitious name, were more direct, like she was. Others, perhaps because my plight was too extreme for them to comprehend, they just let me suffer my way through. Also, perhaps, a kind thing to do. Frame 8 is a famous logo of a show that turned my life around in 1974. 60 Minutes did a segment on dyslexics. No one wished that I should be labeled as a dyslexic, as they seemed to know that I would collect labels of a negative connotation throughout my entire life. Frame 9 is my introduction to the Kurzweil 3000 software. Text to speech. That it could read the words to me out loud was enough to encourage me to begin seeking my transfer to a 4-year college. Ironically, the features that they deemed unnecessary to introduce me to in the introduction to Kurzweil were the very ones I needed the most to succeed, the ones that would give me the power to make the text logical. Frame 10 shows me constantly stopping the text-to-speech in order to comprehend what the author is trying to say. Had I been given instruction, had I been able to contemplate for a better copy of the text and enjoy the preliminary preparations, I would have been much more open to studying the material as it was presented. I couldn't help but ask, was this a mistake? I'll never forget the love I experienced from that department, but it could have been and just wasn't enough. Always being dictated to by budget concerns. Sometimes decisions are made without consideration of mandatory inclusions such as Zone Editor. Once again, I was cut short and left to fend for myself. Thank you for listening to my story.